Okay. So basically I'm just putting on my carbon fiber steering wheel. You gotta stab the old one, which is kind of annoying. It's kind of an odd spot where the screwdriver slides in, but there's literally designated holes specifically so that you can access the springs here, right? These little circle springs, when you push on them, they release these 3 points which connect in there. But it's okay, I'm a professional. I've already done this once. Semi-professional. Oh. So I'm just using this little like pocket screwdriver sort of deal. You pull it, okay, see, released, cool. So there's a plug in there. There's a connector right there for this one. This big one is for the airbag itself. This little one down here, I believe, is the horn. You're gonna have one right there, the blue one, and one right there for the other blue one. Those are for your paddle shifters. Down here at the bottom, you have some more wires running down that you'll have to switch over to the new steering wheel. But it's pretty simple once you get everything out. Worst case scenario, you have to take these little bolts out once the steering wheel's out. This is a 16 millimeter socket size. You do have to use Loctite on it, blue type, when you're done, so that it does not come out because of vibration, time, etc. T20 Torx bolts that hold on your paddle shifters on the front and the back, I believe, on both sides. And then all of this is getting moved over. Man, getting it broke loose is probably the hardest part, because if you're doing it by yourself, to get it to sit still while you do it, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but oh well. So the other thing too, if you take this out, you'll see there's a line right there that matches up with the line on the actual steering column. So it only goes in one way. Can't really fuck it up unless you really tried on that one. Should be able to just pull it off like that, and then that's cool. The wheel's off. Sick. We're gonna move over to the workbench, put the new wheel on, because yeah. Now that we have the steering wheel off the car, we're gonna transfer over all the buttons, electronics, wiring to the new wheel. So paddles, that's the new wheel. I'm actually gonna take everything off of this one first, right? So that way that's already taken care of. So again, the size in these is a T20, right? But I believe, we're about to find out though. So I'm gonna take off the paddle so I can access behind it, because there's a little bolt that holds on the front fascia from there. So paddle disconnected. Down in here there is another T20 shit, but is what I got. Now you'll notice these ones, so you'll see on these ones they have the blue Loctite, so you want to remember which ones do, which ones don't. I just leave the blue Loctite on till the end, clean it off, Loctite it, and then put it back on, so that way I don't forget. It makes it a lot easier. So inside of the wheel, you're gonna see that blue connector needs to disconnect. You can see that's where the paddle plugs in at. So next, I want to start getting this front fascia piece off as gently and carefully as I can, as to not damage anything, right? Oh, I guess I can show you now. These holes are where I punctured the wheel, because there's little divots there, and that's where you have to puncture it in order to get the spring. It sounds stupid, but look up any other fucking person doing it. It's exactly how they do it. Okay, 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 cool. So you'll see it kind of just pulls up. I pull left to right because the right hand side has got the clip. So you have a little bit more play to work around it. So you have these little channels where the wires are gonna run, right? And they just kind of pop out. If you are keeping this paddle, you can just leave all this together how it is, okay? If you are replacing the paddle and you do not have the sensor, right, the clicking mechanism built into your paddles, right? I'll show you what I mean. This one right here came with its own clicking mechanism, right? So that way I don't have to worry about switching over the whole thing. I'm just gonna keep this one with the OEM, try this one, call it a day. So I'm just trying to work it as carefully as possible. I don't like breaking stuff. I'm gonna take the extra time. Pop it off correctly, that little piece. And then just like that, the whole wiring harness, everything will just lift out like that. You want to be able to mount the horn again, so you have these 3 spots on the wheel. You got 1, 2, 3 where the horn is going to mount. So you need to put these nodes on there. Okay, so I've got the new wheel. Check your wheel. There's 3 spots where they came off the old ones, right? Is what lets your airbag clip in. Sometimes, because it's all rubberized coating in here, sometimes it'll be covered up. So just make sure you peel back some of the rubber coating to make sure your threads are nice and clean. And it does take a little bit of pressure. There we go. Okay. Once they snap into place, you'll see. You just gotta make sure you line up these little lines, but they'll snap in. It's all rubber. So you basically just tighten it, tighten it, tighten it. I'm using a 1/4 inch ratchet. And now remember, some of these are just connected to plastic. So you don't want it to be so tight that you break something. Starting from the bottom with the horn mechanism. Right there, the little blue clip on the back, right there. All of that and the whole wiring harness, everything just kind of slides back into its place. Now we're just gonna kind of set the fascia in place where you want it and where it aligns with all of the previous little pegs and such. So it takes a little bit of kind of pushing shit around, get everything lined up properly, right? I mean, everything's got a little bit of movement in this steering wheel. So you kind of just got to play with it till you get it where you like it. And then you can screw in those Loctite bolts from before, right? So these little bolts right here, okay? So now you can take it, either get a pick and go through each thread, or you can get a wire brush. You don't need a lot either. Literally just enough to cover the threads of the bolt. It'll expand as you tighten it. Now that the front is folded, molded, and screwed back into place, now we can work on the fun part. So we're just gonna take the little blue, slide it in, line it up, flip it back over, and screw it in. And just like that, I think we're done. Cool. Yay, so now it's all clipped in, ready to go. Now all we gotta do is put it back in. Once we get it back attached, all you do is plug in the little cords and pop the airbag back on. Just pretty straightforward. So, old wheel, new wheel. Take the wheel, and if you remember, we lined up, or when you take it out, there's only one way it can go back in, because there's a little line. So we're gonna line it up. It can only go in one way, so just be gentle with the splines. But slides in, cool. Clean off your threads for your bolt, okay? You're just gonna put enough on to basically try and match the factory. Get it started. I'm starting to understand why people like these wheels, because it's not even fully done yet. But like just seeing it like that, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense why people like these. Now, let us finish the installation process. So I'd say that's pretty good. Now we're gonna take our horn slash airbag. Again, you're gonna line up 1, 2, 3 to those 3 that we had earlier. Align the top clip as best you can. Make sure it's in there nice and snug. Make sure the wires are out of the way of the other connectors. And then you just... And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we have completed a wheel installation. So, that's what she looks like. Now, we are a true race car. Vroom, vroom. Fuck yeah! I love it. So, now we're straight race car boy. If you don't know what's going on with my car or what's done to my car, go follow my Instagram. I do have a TikTok as well. I'm gonna try and post to YouTube. My Instagram, I post the most, MK5 Spruce. Yeah, I'll give you guys a review in a couple weeks. Let you know what I think about the wheel. Is it worth the money? Is it worth the clout? I don't know, but I think that shit looks crazy. But that's just me. So, anyways, fuck y'all. Have a good day.